about getting in an Uber? I'm Ashley Fullerton, and find out what steps you can take to feel safer on your ride.
The search is on. I'm Maggie Thomas, and I'll tell you what you need to know when looking for your first job after college.
There's questions that need answered in Columbus. I'm Rashad from Take 30 News. Tune in and find out.
Super Bulldog Safety, I'm Taylor Wright, telling you how the city of Starkville prepares for the biggest weekend of the year.
One of the biggest weekends in Starkville begins tomorrow, and while Super Bulldog Weekend is an exciting time, police say that there are some safety concerns.
And Take 30's Taylor Wright shows us what police are doing to keep us safe and what you need to do before going out.
This weekend, Mississippi State will host the 34th annual Super Bulldog Weekend. This weekend attracts thousands of visitors to the small town of Starkville. There are plenty of events to attend on and off campus. A popular evening hangout spot here in Starkville is the Cotton District. At night, this area can become a major safety issue. With people hanging out outside of the bars and little to no street lights, police have to monitor this area more closely than normal.
Once the bars close, like 30 minutes after, there's still people walking around, and it's scary because you're not really familiar with everyone. And then people walk on these streets and there's never any cops patrolling here.
With Super Bulldog Weekend just one day away, how does the city of Starkville plan to keep everyone safe?
We typically have extra patrols and extra individuals on foot, in those areas. Have a plan. If you're gonna partake in consumption of alcoholic beverages, have a plan.
The most important thing to remember is to be aware of your surroundings at all times.
When you are moving around at night, during late hours of the night, make sure you're staying alert. Don't have headphones on or don't have your face buried in your phone where you're not aware of your surroundings for your safety.
Whether you're on campus attending sporting events or in the district, be sure to stay safe this weekend.
For safety tips, visit Take 30's For safety tips, visit Take 30's on Facebook. We'll have more info on some Super Bulldog weekends after the show. Walmart shoppers say that they got more than they bargained for as customers were pushed out and the bomb squad pushed in. Tuesday, Thursday, police responded to a bomb threat in the Super Walmart on Highway 12. Reportedly by a customer saw a note and turned it in to an employee. The entire store was forced to evacuate. Shopper Allison Cox shot this video and was in the store when the note was discovered.
To evacuate Walmart because of a bomb threat, though.
I heard over the intercom, all the associates, please come to the front, please come to the front. I started looking around, like all the associates started running to the front. I asked the customer, like, what's going on? And she was, it's been a bomb threat. We left the basket and we just ran out the store. Like, it was okay once we got out of there, but I was scared.
Police say that this was not a serious threat.
It's a crime that police say they see time and time again, and unfortunately, victims sometimes make it really easy for the criminals. Starkville police say that they've seen an increase in auto burglaries. They said that the most common method thieves use is going door to door in parking lots to find unlocked vehicles, just like this, captured by surveillance cameras outside of an apartment complex.
Best ways to prevent auto burglaries here in Starkville would be lock your doors. As long as your vehicle's secured and anything in your car is not visible from a window, generally you're not going to be broken into.
Detective Horton says to bring your valuables into your home, and if your car is broken into, call local law enforcement immediately. Don't touch anything inside of the car until you have been cleared. This college student was kidnapped and killed after getting into what she thought was an Uber.
University of South Carolina student Samantha Josephson's death last month is concerning college students and parents as the popularity of ride-sharing apps increase. Take 30's Ashley Fulton explains how you can stay safe when using these ride-share apps.
Dylan McKee has been driving for Uber for a couple of months now. As a driver, he not only tries his best to get his passengers there safely, but also tries to make them feel comfortable on their ride, especially girls.
Yeah, I definitely think they're more skeptical, but because of that, they come to my driver window and I roll it down and they ask if I'm Dylan or if their name matches what I have, and I say yeah, and they're like, okay, cool, and they get in the car. But they're definitely more susceptible to ask instead of just opening the car and getting in. Like guys just pile in the back seat not knowing whose car it is.
It doesn't matter if you're male or female. The safety precautions you can take stay the same.
Starkville Police Officer Sergeant Brandon Lovelady urges rideshare users to take the necessary steps to stay safe.
Confirm your driver in your car before you get in there. All right, don't just get in the car because they say they are. Make sure that whatever app you're using or whatever service you're using, you can confirm that that driver in that vehicle, that's where you're supposed to be.
Some other things he suggests is staying inside until you're positive that your ride is there, checking the license plate number, checking the make and model of the car, and traveling with a group whenever possible. Another thing he says is if you're uncomfortable when they get there, just don't get in the car.
If you feel like you're in immediate danger, immediately call 911.
Uber and Lyft have their own safety tips posted on their website, and other companies like State Farm have posted tips as well. The main thing that law enforcement and the rideshare apps want you to do is just to be aware and trust your instincts. If you don't feel safe, don't get in the car or call the police.
I think like we're so used to just hopping in a car with anybody that it doesn't really affect it that much.
Now, Uber issued a statement saying that they would soon start a social media campaign, buy ads in college newspapers, and send their users notifications to remind them on safety steps. Now let's take a first look at our Campus Connect forecast with Maddie Pouliot.
Thanks, Reed. Tonight, Campus Connect meteorologists say we can expect temperatures in the low 80s throughout the region, around 85 in Hattiesburg, but staying around 81 in Starkville. But for Super Bulldog weekend, there's a good chance of rain. I'll have more of that and your full forecast in a bit. Reed?
Thank you, Maddie. When we return, lights out. What caused a Starkville power outage and how soon-to-be grads can stay stress-free during the job search.
Take 30 News is the only student-powered television news program at Mississippi State.
We've got the latest weather report.
We go far and wide to tell you the stories you need to hear from your campus. From parking.
Parking spots are becoming more and more scarce.
To sports.
Also, the opening of the new Polk-DeMitt Stadium.
To how to stay healthy.
It is supposed to lessen your symptoms.
Take 30 News is the news you need, wrapped in maroon and white.
If the lights went out Tuesday night, you're not alone. On Tuesday night, parts of Starkville, including the Cotton District, had a power outage. The outage lasted from around 10:30 until midnight. Mayor Lynn Spruill tweeted updates throughout the night, saying once the power was restored, she tweeted, everyone should have power restored. The electronic guru says that a transformer at the substation went out and that they now have isolated it, so we should be good to go. Thank you everyone for your patience and humor. Next time, don't wait to the last minute to do that paper. J.R. Coleman, a senior at MSU, was in the Cotton District when the power outage occurred.
So I was at the bin with a friend, and we were sitting there, and then literally when I say it just went black, so in the district, there is the classroom and all that stuff, and the lights on, and it just went black. And so everyone, you could just hear gasp, and we were like, oh my goodness. So we just sat there for a second because we thought it was just a normal power outage. And then it just started getting super creepy, and so everyone kind of started slowly going to their cars.
With graduation only a few weeks away, soon-to-be college grads are looking for their first job.
However, not all students are having success. Take 30's Maggie Thomas has some useful information for those who are still on the job search.
Mississippi State senior Jackie Valdez has spent the past 4 years of college working towards her goal of becoming a marketing analyst. However, Valdez says finding a job isn't as easy as she thought it would be.
I keep trying to put it off, so I'm a big procrastinator. So I'm like, I've got time. But now that it's 3 weeks, it's here, it's scarier, and it kind of feels overwhelming because it's you don't want to make that decision, you don't want to rush into it.
Luckily, Valdez and other students don't have to face this challenging time alone. There are resources online and on campus that can help students still searching for a job. One of these resources is the Mississippi State Career Center. Senior Coordinator Daniel Morgan says a piece of advice he gives graduating students is to broaden their search.
Keep your options open, because being fresh out of school, there are a lot of different skills and a lot of different abilities and strengths that you bring to the table that are very transferable to a lot of different types of jobs.
And if students don't find a job before graduation, they can still meet with Career Center coordinators and use the Career Center job search engine for up to 2 years after they graduate.
Whether it's an undergraduate degree or an advanced degree program, after you graduate, the doors don't close to the Career Center.
Valdez encourages students in the same position as her to not feel defeated as they continue their job search.
You know, kind of putting yourself out there, and it can be tough and difficult, but don't always just rely on, you know, whatever first kind of lands on your plate.
Reporting for Take 30 News, I'm Maggie Thomas.
If you would like to find out more about the Career Center, visit Take 30 News Facebook page. The next time you go out to eat, your bill could be a little bigger. That's because Starkville leaders are looking to add a 1% tax to hotels and restaurants to raise money for a new athletic complex and update current parks. And if the bill is passed, the new complex will be located at the corner of Highway 25 and Highway 12 and will include public park space, walking trails, and various synthetic fields. Synthetic fields dry quickly and prevent many tournaments from being canceled due to rain. Gary Logan, the executive director for the Starkville Parks, thinks that this could draw in more summer traffic.
The tournaments and events and the sports tourism, it's a huge economic driver. It brings people into town to eat in the restaurants and shop and get gas and go to academy and all these great things. So it's a huge influx of people. Something like this, it drives more people in town on those summer weekends and other weekends. So that it just adds more traffic, more foot traffic to all of our local businesses.
Gary urges the community to get informed, attend board meetings, and visit starkvilleparks.org for the master plan. And when we return, we'll take a short break and have a full Campus Connect forecast.
Cash Matlock from the Wednesday crew in the fall of 2018.
Learning, growing, becoming. Take 30 News at MSU.
If you want to have a big impact in the world, you have to start small. At Mississippi State University, we're starting in the Gulf of Mexico, where a small but crucial barrier island is quickly fading from view. Millions of state dollars are spent dredging sand to replace the vanishing shores of Deer Island. But we think we can do better. We're applying cutting-edge sediment tracers to map the flow of currents and predict the course of sand that's carried out to sea, a process that will help us better understand the drastic transformation taking place. While this is a more cost-effective way to prevent the loss of an island, it's about so much more than saving dollars. It's about taking the first step in a long process to preserve our environment and secure a better, brighter tomorrow. We might be starting small, but rest assured, at Mississippi State University, we're dreaming big.
Welcome back. As you can see, yesterday had a high of 83 and a low of 59, and more of the same is expected today. Tomorrow it is expected to get a little chillier with a high of only 76 and some possibility of rain. There will be 70% chance of rain on Saturday, so be sure to bring your jacket if you plan on attending Super Bulldog Weekend. Now on Sunday, it is expected to clear up a bit, but we still see some rain to finish off the weekend. But good news, by Monday, the rain should be gone, and by next Tuesday, it should begin to warm back up into the high 70s. This is your full forecast brought to you by Mississippi State Campus Connect. Reed?
Thanks, Maddie. The Cotton District Arts Festival is being held this weekend in Starkville. The event is this Saturday at 8 a.m. and will be kicked off with a pet parade. The festival will feature local art vendors and 2 stages with music from local artists. There will also be a student art competition, a singer-songwriter competition, and a poetry contest. The event is rain or shine.
Awake, dear heart, awake. Tomorrow, Theater MSU performs their interpretation of William Shakespeare's The Tempest, but with a twist. The play is a comedy centered around a duke's involvement in betrayal, magic arts, and revenge plots. Where the lead character is normally portrayed as a male, in Theater MSU's rendition, the Duke is actually a Duchess. General admission tickets for the show are $12 for adults and $7 for students. Tickets are available for purchase at events.msstate.edu or at the door before each performance. The play runs through April 13th. Last Saturday, Mississippi State hosted the 29th annual International Fiesta on the drill field. The festival included live music, international cuisine, and displays celebrating cultural diversity. One campus organization, No Lost Generation, set up a sample refugee camp to educate the community on life as a refugee, especially a Syrian refugee. Laura Ingoff, the director of communications for the organization, said that the goal of this display is to represent a group that is currently unable to do so themselves.
The state of Mississippi does not allow Syrian refugees to resettle here. So we would love it if we had Syrian refugees in our community who could come to the International Fiesta and have their own booths and share their food and their culture with us. But right now, they're not allowed to.
MSU recently announced their 2019 Maroon Edition book will be Hold On with the Bulldog Grip, a short study of Ulysses S. Grant. The book is a brief overview of President Grant's life and was written by 3 historians here at MSU and former Rhode Island Chief Justice Frank J. Williams. All incoming freshmen and transfer students will be given this book at orientation. This is the 11th year of MSU's first-year reading experience program. The book was published by University Press of Mississippi and will be officially released on April 15th. Flag Fight, a Republican candidate, is speaking out against Mississippi's flag. Andy Taggart announced his run for Attorney General last Friday. During his speech, he said that he thought that the state flag should change. He said the flag, quote, acts as a snapshot of Mississippi and reflects a reminder of the Civil War, which was driven by slavery. He says this is not an accurate snapshot of our state. Taggart would have no power if elected to change the flag. He said it's just worth starting a conversation. Don't go anywhere, because when we return, Take 30 Sports is next.
A baby's arrival can be one of the most exciting times in a family's life. It can also be one of the most anxious, especially if the child's development is hindered by medical challenges that create more questions than answers. At Mississippi State University, we're groundbreakers in the study of CHARGE syndrome, a genetic condition that leads to a host of life-threatening birth defects. Our research teams are uncovering breakthroughs in treatment and prevention with a goal of greater understanding that leads to better care. We're also providing crucial support resources for parents and helping physicians around the globe gain awareness so symptoms can be detected and addressed earlier. By engaging in this innovative analysis and therapy, we're not only improving outcomes, we're unlocking brighter futures.
Mad Dogs Rugby. Mississippi State's Rugby Football Club is headed to South Carolina this weekend to participate in the SCRC Olympic Rugby Championship Tournament. 10 Southeastern Collegiate Ruby teams, conference teams, will be there. Last year, the Mad Dogs didn't have much success in the tournament and finished second to last. The Mad Dogs are rebuilding to reach the top tier, like when they finished second in 2015.
This year, there will be 10 schools. The competition to beat, I would say, is usually South Carolina, Kentucky, or Tennessee, and Alabama. Those are the top 4 schools. We want to strive to beat them, but if not, I want to put up a good fight against them to build off our last season coming forward, because we're in the rebuilding stage right now. Because last season we ended with 8 people, current players, so now we're in the rebuilding stage.
The Mad Dogs are matched up against Ole Miss, Alabama, Kentucky, and Georgia. And if they win enough games, they will then move to the ranked games. To find out more information about the tournament, go to www.southeasternrugby.org. March Madness is officially over. On Sunday, the Baylor Lady Bears capped off a 37-1 season with a championship over the defending champion Notre Dame Fighting Irish in an 82-81 game. And on the men's side, the University of Virginia's men's basketball team won their first NCAA tournament title on Monday after outlasting Texas Tech in the championship game in 85-77 in an overtime win. This was a big turnaround after the Cavaliers lost to the 16th seed in last year's tournament. And last night was the WNBA draft, where we saw Jackie Young, a guard out of Notre Dame, be selected first overall by the Las Vegas Aces. And Bulldog fans here can be excited as Mississippi State center Tiara McCowan was drafted third overall by the Indiana Fever, where she will join former Bulldog teammate Victoria Vivians, who was drafted by the Fever just a year ago. And her teammate Anrielle Howard was selected later in the second round by the Seattle Storm. After 21 seasons, the German-born power forward Dirk Nowitzki officially announced his retirement from the NBA on Tuesday after a win against the Phoenix Suns. The seven-footer played his entire career with the Dallas Mavericks after being selected by them in the 1998 NBA draft, and he will retire as his franchise's best player. He is an NBA MVP, an NBA champion, and he currently sits 6th on the all-time scoring list. Dirk joins Dwayne Wade as he also announced his retirement earlier this year. Final sports news. The MSU softball team won their game here in Starkville yesterday against the University of Memphis 15-3. And today they will have their own weekend series against Knoxville against the University of Tennessee. Yesterday, the men's baseball team defeated the University of South Alabama in a 7-5 game. And tomorrow, the Bulldogs will return to SC play as they begin their first of 3 games over the weekend tomorrow against the University of Alabama. The game today will be at 6:30 p.m. and the game Saturday and Sunday will be held at 3 p.m. at the Dudy Noble Field. With Super Bulldog weekend coming up, parking can be a challenge. Here we have a map where there's color-coded. So the orange zones right here stand for open parking. The yellow dotted lines right here can talk about the road closures for the Cotton District Arts Festival. And the red dotted lines right here show that the road closures. And when we return, how Columbus is still struggling to find funds to rebuild.
Take 30 News is the only student-powered television news program at Mississippi State.
We've got the latest weather report.
We go far and wide to tell you the stories you need to hear from your campus. From parking.
Parking spots are becoming more and more scarce.
To sports.
Also, the opening of the new Polk DeMint Stadium.
To how to stay healthy.
It is supposed to lessen your symptoms.
Take 30 News is the news you need, wrapped in maroon and white.
Flight. It's driven mankind's dreams for centuries. The ability to soar above the earth, to travel to faraway places, to connect distant points. Manned flights to the moon and space were once the stars for which we reached. Now, unmanned aircraft are the future. At Mississippi State University, our teams are developing unmatched unmanned aircraft systems for an array of critical applications. We're so good at it, the Federal Aviation Administration named MSU a Center of Excellence in the field, asking us to lead the team that's creating the operating regulations for unmanned aircraft systems worldwide. So essentially, we're writing the flight plan for an industry that is the future. Our work means better information, more opportunity, and limitless horizons for you. The sky really is the only limit.
Welcome back. This broadcast was honored by the Louisiana-Mississippi Associated Press. Take 30's News took home a first-place award in the General Excellence in Television category. Judges reviewed a variety of last year's shows to make the determination. 2 reporters from The Reflector received awards for breaking news coverage, and 2 students from the Geosciences Department won awards for Best Weathercast. Congratulations to all of you. 1 month now has passed since the tornado in Columbus, Mississippi impacted multiple businesses, families, and claimed a life. Take 30's Rashad Crosby shows us there's still a lot to be cleaned up.
While some businesses and homes are rebuilding, others are still waiting. It's been a month since Columbus, Mississippi was hit by an EF3 tornado, and with debris over multiple areas, I stopped by a local neighborhood to see what the situation is.
The city of Columbus came through and picked up all the big trees and cleaned up, but they have since not come and picked up all our household garbage, and it's been since the 24th of February since the storm.
As you can see, there's nothing but tree limbs and debris all around me, which has already been here for 1 month. And for the residents that's in the affected area, they was told to put the trash at the front of the yard. About how long will it have to stay there? I talked to Pastor Reverend Steve Blaylock and see how he felt about his situation and others around him.
The reality is that we've had very little help from the city at all in our community. We still having to buy permits and pay extra prices for those things. They have not waived dumping fees. They've not waived anything that they really could help the victims out with. It seems like it's made it more difficult.
Reverend Blaylock did state that even though he got help from the City of Columbus, situations like these are really delicate and you need patience. And even though I wasn't able to get an interview from City Hall, I did talk to Joe Dillon, the City Public Information Officer of Columbus, and he told me an outside company was hired money to clean up the debris and other damages while Mississippi is still waiting for a declaration of FEMA. I am Rashad Crosby. This is Take 30 News.
For cleanup assistance, you can go to helpcolumbus.org.
The first ever photo of a black hole has gotten astronomers excited this week. Once thought impossible, an image of a black hole in a galaxy called M87, 55 million light years away from Earth. The photo was captured by a network of telescopes called the Event Horizon Telescope. The size of the black hole, determined by a team of scientists, is 38 billion kilometers in diameter. That's 6.5 billion times larger than the sun. It is said to spin clockwise. The black hole is said to be supermassive, even by black hole standards. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Reed Williams.
And I'm Megan Terry. Thank you so much for joining us for Take 30 News. Be sure to catch our next show next Thursday. Have a safe and great weekend.